Hello, hello, Melanie here. Today I've got another off the mat topic for you, and I am going to be talking about sunscreen and why that SPF is your everyday BFF. Now, I know what you're thinking. Why on earth am I indoors when I'm talking about sunscreen? Well, it's partly the weather. Today it's rainy and it's cold and it's cloudy, but it's also to prove a point that no matter where you are and no matter what the season or the weather, sunscreen is something that we should be wearing every single day of the year. Now, I don't know about you, but one thing that I'm seeing a lot on my social media feeds is this idea of having a well thought out skin care routine. Anywhere between 5, 10, sometimes 15 steps of what people are doing to protect their skin, to keep it healthy and glowing. But did you know that 1, sunscreen should be a part of your skincare routine, and 2, it's probably the most important step? Let me tell you why. Going back to the weather, no matter what the weather is, no matter what it looks like, no matter what it feels like, the sun is always shining. The sun is always shining and it's always emitting those ultraviolet or those UV rays that sunscreen helps protect you from. There are 2 types of ultraviolet or UV rays. There's UVA, which are the aging rays, so things that cause premature aging, skin spots, and sometimes even skin cancer. And then there's UVB, the burning rays. That's kind of self-explanatory. Those are the rays that cause burning, sunburning. When you think of sunscreen, you want something to protect your skin, keep it healthy and glowing, and protect against those UVA and UVB rays. So the first thing you want to look for when looking for a sunscreen is something that's broad spectrum. It usually says it on the bottle, broad spectrum. That lets you know it covers both UVA and UVB. The next thing you want to look at is the SPF, or the sun protection factor. At a minimum, you want an SPF of 30. Anything less than 30 doesn't provide much protection. But once you hit 30, you are covering about 90% of those UVA and UVB rays. Now, sunscreen goes from 30, 50, 80, all the way up. Honestly, I'd say anywhere between 30 and 50. Anything higher than that really isn't adding that much protection. There's no sunscreen that's going to provide 100% protection, but like I said, you want anything between SPF 30, 50, something like that, because you've got at least 97% coverage. Other things you want to consider about sunscreen are ensuring that you've got something water resistant, so protecting against when you get in the pool, when you're sweating. If it's a day like today when I'm recording it and it's raining outside, you want something that can resist the water. Other things to consider would be avoiding combination products. A lot of times sunscreen come in combination with insect repellents, and you would think, great, it's summer. I need to protect my skin against the sun and also against bugs. But what happens is that you often need to apply sunscreen a whole lot more frequently than you do bug spray. Bug spray doesn't have to be applied every 2 hours like sunscreen does. And when you end up having a combination product and giving yourself more bug spray than you actually need, and that can cause more harm than good. So we've talked about what sunscreen is and why it's important, but the next step would be how to properly apply sunscreen. It's not something you can just, rub on and then just go on about your day. First things first, how much do we put on every single day? And how often do we put it on? Well, you need about 1 ounce, or the size of a shot glass. So think about pouring all of the sunscreen in this shot glass and then coming through and then lathering yourself up with it from your head, your neck, your shoulders, all the way throughout your body, even into your scalp, especially if you have short hair or are a gentleman that has no hair or bald. Next thing you want to do, like I said, is find something that's water resistant. You want to apply it 15 minutes before you go outside. If sunscreen is a part of your skincare routine, as a part of your what you're doing to your face every day, make sure it's the last step. And we want to reapply it every 2 hours. Ensure that it's water resistant to fight against things like going in the pool, sweating, rainy weather, and give yourself just the best chance by, again, applying it every 2 hours. Now, there are many different types of sunscreen. We've got our gels, we've got our sprays, Sometimes there's sticks, there's lip balm that involves sunscreen. You really want to just choose a product that, one, you're going to use every day, two, isn't expired, check the expiration date, three, works with your skin type. Things like creams are going to be good for dry skin, gel formulations are going to be good for oily skin. Sprays are often just easier to use, but one thing you have to consider when using a spray sunscreen is to ensure that you rub it in. I have been a victim of not rubbing in the spray, thinking I'm just doing it, and then I get back inside from being out in the sun all day, and I've got streaks and burns because I didn't rub it in all the way. So speaking from firsthand experience, if you're going to use a spray, rub it in all the way. And the last thing I will say is this: sunscreen is for everyone. No matter your age, no matter your skin tone, no matter your gender, we all need sunscreen. It is your everyday BFF. So make it a part of your skincare routine, put it on 15 minutes before you leave the house, reapply every 2 hours, and just give yourself that fighting chance to age gracefully and maintain your healthy, glowing skin. To learn more about how sunscreen is your everyday BFF, you can read the full blog on my website, mymoveswithmelanie.com. And while there, you can schedule a complimentary consultation to learn more about how we can work together to help you achieve your health and wellness goals.